Welcome, folks, to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka. On today's show, I'm going to tell you why the crypto market's bleeding today. Also, a U.S. recession, 40% likely in 2025. What does it mean for crypto? We've got an analyst view. Also, potential Bitcoin price fall to 65,000 is irrelevant since central bank liquidity is coming, says Analyst. We're going to go through our market watch, Bitcoin technical analysis, and all so much more on today's show. Welcome, folks, to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka. Today is March 29th, 2025, and Bitcoin and the whole market was really down most of the day. It's picking up now, trying to get back lost ground from the morning. Getting right into our Bitcoin technical analysis, we have the BITI down 0.5%, 83,862. Ethereum down 3%, 1851. Solana down 0.75%, 126. Cardano down 2%, 68 cents. Sui is actually up. It's showing down here, but I was just looking at it. It's up a couple percent right now. It looks like about $2.37. Doge down 3%, 17 cents. XRP up 1.5%, $2.20. Getting into our, if we look at the hourly in the crypto bubbles, everything's in the green. Let's jump out to the day, and it's the opposite. Like I was saying in the morning, everything was down. About 95% in the red for the day, including Beara down 11.5%. Move down 8%. Maker down 8%. Zooming out to the weekly, it's about a 70-30 mix, with Kronos up 35%, Form up 25%, Beara up 13%. And zooming out to the monthly, we've got most things in the red, about 80% in the red for the month. And if we take a unique look at the actual market cap, we will see that it gives you a good visual to go into this once in a while, the crypto bubble's market cap, and you'll see the huge dominance that Bitcoin has over everything else, including, we see Ethereum, XRP, and USDT, and pretty much everything else is a tiny little bubble. Look at the size of Bitcoin's about the size of a basketball on my screen. Current market cap for Bitcoin is $1.65 trillion. Ethereum, $222 billion. XRP, $127 billion. Solana, $64 billion. Doge, $25 billion. Cardano, $24 billion. Tron, $22 billion. The total crypto market cap for the entire industry is sitting at $2.66 trillion, with a Bitcoin holding 62.15%, Ethereum 8.3%, XRP 4.8% of the total supply. Crypto Fear and Greed Index, we're currently sitting at a 32 in fear. Yesterday was a 26 in fear, and last week a 30 in fear. There is approximately 1,110 days left until the next Bitcoin halving in 2028, with 159,941 blocks left to mine until that time. Total assets by market cap, we have a gold steady. Everything here is steady except for Bitcoin, which trades on 24/7. Gold, 20,750 billion. Apple, 3.2 trillion. Microsoft, 2.8 trillion. Nvidia, 2.6 trillion. Amazon, 2 trillion. Silver, 1.9 trillion. Google 1.9 trillion, Saudi Aramco 1.7 trillion, Bitcoin 1.65 trillion, and Facebook wraps up the top 10 at $1.4 trillion. You can currently get 1,200 Satoshis exactly for one fiat US dollar. And speaking of the US dollar, there she is. Keeps on ticking. Currently, US national debt 36,659,500,000,000, equaling to up to 107,202 per U.S. citizen, or 323,048 per U.S. taxpayer. So, always amazes me when we look at the the U.S. debt clock, how quickly she climbs and how it just continues to go up and never. I mean, I don't know if we're ever going to see in our lifetime that clock is going to actually flip and go the opposite way. Speaking of the opposite way, Bitcoin definitely was down for most of the day. So here's why crypto market cap was bleeding today. Bitcoin is leading the crypto market sell-off, with top altcoins like Ethereum, Doge, Solana also joining the trend. The drawdown in the broader crypto market has extended to this weekend as losses shifted from Bitcoin to altcoins. The combined market cap has lost 2.82% to 2.68 trillion, as we just brushed upon, which suggests the sell-off might deepen more. With the mix of bullish news in the trailing 7-day period, the question among analysts remain, what is behind the latest slump? Since the inauguration of President Donald Trump, the broader digital currency ecosystem has witnessed positive backing. As reported earlier by CoinGate, President Trump granted full pardon to Arthur Hayes and other BitMEX co-founders, Benjamin Delo and Samuel Reed. While this news is localized to the beneficiaries, it generally signals the positive shift in White House perception of the industry. Despite these updates, the crypto market is still reeling with losses. The same Trump administration's trade policies have continued to weigh down the investors' sentiment. The April 2nd reciprocal tariff timeline has placed investors on edge. These tariffs and trade wars have ushered in economic uncertainties and potential inflation drag. With the Federal Reserve keeping rates unchanged, the impact of inflation may force traditional firms to adjust their positions. This, in turn, impact the crypto market sentiment overall. So, more tariff wars, more tariff fears. April 2nd, which is Tuesday, we shall see what happens with the market. But I feel like, the markets are already pricing these things in. So let's see what happens on Tuesday. But one thing is pretty sure, and that is the U.S. recession is 40% likely in 2025. And let's see what it means for the crypto. Coin Bureau founder Nick Puckrin said he expects 2 25 basis point rate cuts from the Federal Reserve in 2025 and no quantitative easing. The U.S. has a 40% chance of a recession in 2025 amid the potential for a protracted trade war and macroeconomic uncertainty, according to MarketAnalyst and Coin Bureau founder Nick Puckrin. In an interview with Cointelegraph, the analyst said that while a recession is not probable, a recession and the current macroeconomic uncertainty will create an environment where risk on assets like cryptocurrency suffer, Puckrin said. Trump and his advisors have said they have not completely dismissed the recession, which means it is definitely possible. But right now, I would not say it is probable, but the odds have climbed a lot. The analyst added that President Trump is not actively attempting to engineer a recession, but that the things that Trump administration is doing, including cutting federal jobs and spending to balance the budget, can lead to recessions as a side effect. Macroeconomic uncertainty is the primary cause of the recent decline of the US dollar as investors shift capital to better opportunities in European capital markets and seek an escape from the economic uncertainty currently plaguing US markets, Puckton told Cointelegraph. Now, interestingly enough, about 2 months ago I covered this story where the first time he spoke anything about tariffs, I went through an article with you guys talking about how the US dollar needs to decrease in price. And he had asked the Fed to reduce the interest rates, and they refused. So he would have to find a different alternative in getting the US dollar to decrease in value. Why do they want a lower dollar? Because then more trade can be done. If there's a higher dollar, people are not doing as much trade with the States. If the price of the dollar is lower, then more people are going to buy their goods. So it's good for exports. So this is certainly one thing that is happening. So, it's effectively, if the price of the dollar goes down, or compared to, the euro, then if it goes down 10%, then it's like everything's 10% on sale. If it goes down 20%, then everything's 20% on sale. So you have to look at it that way. So they do actually want a lower US dollar for that reason, for exports. Trade war fears drag the price of Bitcoin down. We went through this a few moments ago. This seems to be an ongoing thing every few weeks. You'd think that, the industry would learn that at any moment, and very possibly the states could just say, you know what, we're putting another tariff. So these other countries, we go through this all the time. Stop relying on the states. Come on, do what your country does well, and maybe your country will prosper. The States is trying to do what their country does well, trying to make their country prosper. So I don't know why everybody's down on this. It's the media who's doing it. They're trying to cut the spending and make things more efficient, and instead they're crying boo ha ha, we're losing jobs. Well, who's losing jobs? The people that weren't doing anything? The people that were a net negative on the economy? Are these the people we're talking about? And if you are running a government, you need to do what's best for the people. And when these folks say, oh, I lost my job, my government gig, maybe you should have been more productive. Maybe if you were in the top 50, 75, 100% of people doing your exact job, they wouldn't have let you go. If you're crying about having to go back to the office because you've been working from home all these years, and they find this to be not as productive, then maybe you should have thought twice about, crying about this and just being happy that you've got a job that's probably paying you triple digits, and you do a lot less than the private sector. Like, I know you do a lot less than the private sector, and you get paid a lot more. It's actually pretty ridiculous how the discrepancy between the private sector and the public. And I don't want to pay public servants more. They should be getting paid less, or not less, but equal. So it's a bit nuts. It's about a 30 to 50% more that they get paid than anybody else. And considering the U.S. Government is the number one employer in the States, number two is Walmart, you need to cut some fat, right? If there's 30%, fluff that's not doing anything, and you can just cut that out easily, then perfect. You've cut 30% of the budget. You're saving the people money, right? This is how they have to look. Not, oh, people are losing jobs. Are they? Or are they now more benefit, net benefit, because the taxpayer has to pay less taxes and the taxpayer is getting more bang for their buck instead of all this, duplication. So a couple days ago, we had one of the analysts talking about, Bitcoin might fall to 65,000 if it doesn't hit, keep in the support. And now, 2 days later, of course, we have another analyst saying that's ridiculous. Potential Bitcoin price fall to 65,000 is irrelevant, since central bank liquidity is coming, says analysts. Analysts say central banks will expand liquidity in the near future, opening the door for Bitcoin price to make a push toward new all-time highs. So the money printer is going to start going vroom, as usual. Bitcoin's 7% decline saw the price drop from 88,000 on March 26 to 82,000 on March 29, and it led to 150 million in long liquidations. This drop particularly concerning for bulls, as gold surged to record high at the same time, silver too, undermining Bitcoin's digital gold narrative. However, many experts argue that a Bitcoin rally is imminent as multiple governments take steps to avert an economic crisis. The ongoing global trade war and spending cuts by the U.S. government are considered temporary setbacks and an apparent silver lining is the expectation that additional liquidity is expected to flow into the markets, which could boost risk on assets. Analysts believe Bitcoin is well positioned to benefit from this broader macroeconomic shift. Yeah, we've been talking about the M2 money supply. Take, for example, Milheim Heil, on X social platform user, who argued that tax cuts and lower interest rates are necessary to kickstart the economy, particularly since the previous year's growth was propped up by government spending, which proved unsustainable. No kidding. The less favorable macroeconomic environment pushed gold to record high of $3 trillion on March 28th, while the U.S. dollar weakened against a basket of foreign currencies. Record high price on gold is 3,087, not 3 trillion like the total market cap is 20 trillion for gold. Weakened against a basket of foreign currencies, with the DXY index dropping to 104 from 107.4 a month earlier. Additionally, 93 million in net inflows from spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds on March 28th further weighed on sentiment as traders acknowledged that even institutional investors are susceptible to selling amid rising recession risks. The market currently assigns a 50% probability that the U.S. Federal will cut rates to 4% or lower by July 30th, up from 46% a month earlier, according to the CME FedWatch tool. The crypto market is presently in a withdrawal phase, according to Alexander Vasarely, and the founding partner at B2V Crypto. Vasarely noted that recent major announcements such as the U.S. Bitcoin Strategic Reserve order mark progress in the metric that matters the most, adoption. He said real-world assets tokenization is a promising trend, but he believes its impact remains limited. BlackRock's billion-dollar fund is a step forward, but it's insignificant compared to the $100 trillion bond market. Yeah, so effectively the banks, the feds are going to start printing all around the world. And when they print more money, it's good for Bitcoin. So this guy's saying there's no expected reason for the price for Bitcoin to fall to 65,000 because the central banks are going to start printing money very soon. And once that happens, risk-on assets like stocks, like the BITI, are going to go through the roof because people are going to have more money to invest in risky assets. And additionally, once the rate cut comes in July, again, it's always a bullish thing. Now, interesting, folks, and look at this angle. Everybody knows there's going to be a rate cut in July. Why doesn't it actually get reflected on the price now? It's just so much is based on the news instead of the facts that it's a little ridiculous. Regardless, folks, we all know there's tons of money in the world. There's $900 trillion in assets worldwide. So money is abundant and money is everywhere. It is time that's scarce. So use your time wisely. Always spend less money than what you earn, so you're always above in the green and you don't owe money. If you start suddenly making more money, save more money. Don't start spending more money. And start saving and investing when you're in your teens or early 20s, and ideally you can retire when you're 40 or 45. If you have a great idea, there's another way that's going to get you to retire early. Start that idea today. Even if you're not ready, start today and things will come together for you. Here at Crypto News Global, we are hoping to have over 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So please join me on this journey. It would be great if you found this stream enjoyable. Please share, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next stream, folks. Thanks so much for joining.